Welcome to the Short Council. I'm your host Strut, and with us this week, starting at my left, is Caleb, Jeremy, Jacob, and Aaron. It's the season finale, The Children. There's a lot of speculation on the internet this week about what they meant by the children. A lot of book fans and readers, of course, are talking about the children of the forest. Other people thought it was going to be kind of a more metaphorical thing about, parents and children and everything. And it was a lot of both. It ended up being both. Without further ado, let's hash it out. We started this episode up at the north at the wall. Continuing right from where we left off last week. I expected a little bit of time to have elapsed.
I thought they'd start with something else at least, but...
Right, yeah, they wouldn't just throw us right back into the wall here. But John strode pretty fearlessly into the wildling camp.
He got there quick, man!
I would have thought that it would have took him some walking. Some Lord of the Rings style walking to get there. John just walked right in and started talking to the man's cool as a cucumber.
No solid bread. I told you there's a difference too in culture.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that was fermented milk?
It looked like booze milk.
Yeah.
Booze milk.
Take this, Jon Snow. It's booze milk.
We kind of got to see his sort of plan to kill Mancerator almost come to fruition.
You saw right through him.
He's the man. He has to be the man to be where he is as the king of the king beyond the wall.
I'm not going to poison you. If you kill me, all my dudes are going to kill you. We're here, having a parlay.
If you think about it,
chill out.
Mance used to be a man of the Night's Watch, so he probably had to go through all of that rigmarole of proving to them that he's a wildling,
right,
and not a man of the Night's Watch. So he's been in Jon Snow's boat. He knows all of that shit.
Yeah.
But he had a lot riding on that too, because he used to be a crow too. So everyone's watching him to see how he reacts to Jon Snow.
And he certainly knew that they certainly would be able to take Castle Black eventually, but it would take a lot more deaths. That even 50 men behind the walls would be able to drop the scythe and shoot fire. Oh, it was the best. I want to see them do that every week. I don't know how they can do it. They can keep reusing the animation. I don't care.
Eventually, there's just going to be like a smile hole right in the side.
The smiling wall. But of course, we didn't have much time to focus on that because the sudden sound of an approaching army.
Horns? Who's that?
It was nuts.
That was some good footage.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
An air shot of the army coming in, the cavalry,
Oh, man.
Well, that's the thing, because, just full disclosure, I don't watch Game of Thrones. This is the first full episode I've seen in a long time.
Jake's our outside man.
Yeah. And in Lord of the Rings, they would have a lot of battles, but they wouldn't really. I think there was one where it was we're coming from the hills and you're in this valley, we got you. It's really obvious. Mm-hmm. But the pattern that they had was really good. I like seeing battle formations, and that was a quality battle formation.
Oh yeah. For me, that was like Christmas morning. It was you're staying up all night and you're waiting for Santa Claus, and then as you're peeking down the stairs, suddenly Santa Claus is there in your fucking living room putting down presents. It's he is real, I really didn't think that we'd get to see Santa get to the wall this season.
Everything they say is true about Jamie and me.
No.
Your legacy is a lie.
No. I don't believe you.
Yes, you do.
Cersei just spills the beans.
Yeah, and he still wouldn't believe it.
Well,
it's classic denial.
No. I've been wondering for such a long time whether he knew it and was just basically these are my children. I'm not going to try to punish them. That I'm just going to bury it and keep it secret and everything. But he really didn't believe.
He couldn't. He couldn't make himself even look so.
It's too much into his family, his legacy. Not even his family, his legacy.
Yeah.
That's what he's worried about. It's not his family at all. He claims it's his family, but
it's a mask, really.
I don't choose Tywin Lannister. I don't love Tywin Lannister. I love my brother. I love my lover. People will whisper, they'll make their jokes, let them. They're all so small I can't even see them. I only see what matters.
Was anyone else surprised to see Jaime kind of accept Cersei back so easily?
He is
But did he? I mean, he kind
He's
of
in love
fought
with
it.
it. And he can't.
It's love,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a love probably I hope
Wait,
none
are-
of us will ever understand.
Are they brother and sister?
Yeah.
They are brother and sister.
That is fucked. That is straight fucked.
Yeah.
fool for that poison pussy. A fool for that shit.
He's a fool for the Cersei.
But you raise a point, Caleb. You know, given what happens later in King's Landing, you know, it's clearly that he's not just some fool totally under her spell.
Yeah.
At least not anymore. You know, I think that sharp rebuke she gave him earlier in the season really kind of opened up his eyes to exactly how much value Cersei put on him.
What can I do for you?
When you took the city, the children begged me not to leave the house. But Master Migdal and I agreed that I must. So I lost my home.
Meanwhile, over in Marine, Khaleesi is still... man, it's getting...
Evil.
Oh. She's got to deal with these dragons, and, you know, she's letting them run wild, and it was a really nice kind of mirror sort of callback to when, of course, the shepherd came in with the burned body from his herd.
She's still young too. She's not used to being queen. Like instead of him going back and being a teacher for that family, maybe start a school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or how about
I had my brain the whole
How
time.
about he hire you as a tutor for his children, and part of your salary is room and board, and then you also get money on top? Like I don't know.
It was like, fine, if you want to leave, whatever.
Like
If you want to sign a contract, it's for this limited amount of time, okay? And then you're back to where you are right now.
I like that Barristan Selmy gave her the notion right away, like that was a mistake.
Masters will take advantage of this situation.
Because now they're basically suddenly you're going to see like 10,000 people suddenly have year-long contracts. And, you know, people are going to get forced into it. People are going to get, you know, intimidated into accepting these contracts. And the wise masters will be right back to where it was before.
You can almost see him face palming behind her. She opens her mouth. Just no.
She's an idealist, and sticking to that ideal is going to lead her into some dark places. She's desperately trying to control these dragons. You know, to the point now where she's actually, that was such a powerful symbolic moment for me where, you know, she came here as the breaker of chains and to take people's collars off, and she had to lift those big heavy iron collars and put them on her own dragons. To the Great Weirwood Tree, we finally got to see it. We finally got to see the Great Weirwood Tree. And
Not Yggdrasil.
No, it's not the World
that's
Tree. It's just the World Tree. I don't know. But that took a really unexpected turn. I figured that he would get up there, like they'd bring him up to the fucking trunk, and he'd lay a hand and like do like a communion. But fucking skeletons. Oh my god!
I could have told you that. I know very little about Game of Thrones, and I could have told you shit was gonna go down.
There was that big, large opening in between the tree and them.
Like there had to be some
I saw that and I was like, oh no, that's a place for something to happen.
That was one thing I have not seen in any movie or television show. Better special effects for skeletons ever.
I mean, this
That was
season,
awesome.
Yeah.
I think they were partially CGI and partially guys in suits.
Yeah, or like motion capture at least like on the set and then like post CGI.
They put
Right.
fast zombies to shame because they.
Oh hell yeah!
Just like that axe, especially it's like that.
Oh
curve.
god, that was
Not
the shit.
even. I mean, no resistance. Just winging that around.
They were fast
they knew
as
their
hell
business.
too.
Hodor, the mind link, where he's
love
like,
that.
"You're not fighting good enough." Mind link time.
Getting bashed.
Because he was just going into like,
Hold on, they're hitting me.
It's like you gotta pick it up, bud. You gotta do something.
the eye thing.
Oh yeah, no. Bran in Hodor's body is a force to be reckoned with.
Yep.
That's for sure. But yeah, then the big reveal though of the children. I mean, they'd always been a mythological thing to this point. I didn't even know what to think. Like they were fighting, and it's like, oh, this is getting real dicey, and all of a sudden, fireball explosion, and like the skeleton's done for. Like I'm like on the edge of my seat. What could this possibly be? We mentioned last week that Jared and I especially, but I think everybody, but we were all looking forward to the potential giant fight between Bran and the Hound.
Oh, yeah.
And we got it! It is delivered. Talk about your fan service.
Clash of the Titans. Wow.
Like you get the heavy blows in the beginning, and then in the middle, like you get some of those like one-up blows, you know, like there was the ball and cooch kicking.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And just all the ball grabbing, cooch kicking, and then eventually you get down to like where they're both basically knocking on fucking Death's door.
didn't think it was gonna stop. It just
it was gonna go on forever. Like Deadwood, Rome, like just every show HBO has had.
The fights just go on
It's
past
just like,
the points.
oh, they're just like on the ground, all limbs broken, like, eh.
That would have been surprising if she would have jumped off the cliff with him and
Yeah, just like, and then he rolls out of the way, and it's like, oh my god!
he dies and she
forever.
brings him back to life, and then she beats him to death again.
And what a challenging fight to watch, too, because we've really come to, I think, I don't know, I hate to speak for all of you, but I've come to really come around in my thinking on the Hound.
I love the Hound.
You know,
Me too.
he was kind of a villain for a long time, and he's really made a transformation with Arya, but of course we love Brienne as well. And, you know, unlike so many other fights, it's not an easy choice of who you're really rooting for.
Come with me, Arya. I'll take you to safety.
Safety? Where the fuck's that? Her Auntie Neary's dead. Her mother's dead. Her father's dead. Her brother's dead. Winterfell is a pile of rubble. There's no safety, you dumb bitch.
Hey, he had a great point. You know, there's nowhere safe for her.
Right.
Her family's dead. Winterfell's burnt to the ground.
Where is safe? The only answer is, you know, not here.
Although I gotta say, the kick in the dick is when she didn't kill him.
Yeah, that was
ice
cold.
No, I really don't like that dynamic they still have of like Arya thinks that he's just the worst still.
Mm-hmm.
It's her captor, and it's just like...
Yeah, but yet she can tell him to stop taking a shit? Like,
Oh yeah,
comfortable.
like hey,
That's
somebody's
pretty
here. Stop
comfortable.
taking shit.
That's how comfortable
That was a good one.
that she is with him. So she really should not be like, no, I'm just gonna let you die on your own, guy.
I spoke briefly with frequent Short Council collaborator, the Rhinus, and he wanted me to quote him as saying that she had better hope that the Hound really died.
You're gonna die.
Unless there's a maester hiding behind that rock. I'm done.
That could show her control over her hate growing. I mean, like, she's been over and she has all this pent up, and she's hated him more, I mean, than anything almost. And it's just like, it was that kind of that, sorry, I can't now.
Yeah,
I
like
wonder
he was
almost
really
if she was going to, and then as soon as you start talking about the butcher's boy,
Yeah.
she decided
Oh,
Her
yeah.
sister, and
Mhm.
yeah, he brought all that shit up, and he should have kept his mouth shut because
She
he
died.
could have had a nice death.
Kill me!
Of course, back to King's Landing. I suspected, we've all stated several times that there's no way Tyrion was going to get killed for this.
No way.
But I didn't think his salvation was going to come quite in this form.
Oh, get on with it, you son of a whore.
Is that any way to speak about our mother?
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing?
Tyrion's decision to kind of go and square off his business and make sure the debt's been paid.
therapy.
Oh my god. That was heartbreaking. See him going into Tywin's chamber and Shay's there in bed.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
And then she says the words. She says,
I'm
lying.
Oh.
That was
awesome.
She could have had a chance, maybe. And
No. That was almost too much. And to see that kind of hypocrisy play out with like Tywin for having
kidding, right?
to have him like fucking condemn Tyrion over and over again for having whores and for taking a whore into his chamber.
Tyrion.
Of course, Lord Tywin, gets to go out like Elvis Goes out on the shitter.
On the toilet like a bitch.
I mean, he was struggling so hard to retake control of that situation.
He had no leverage whatsoever.
We'll go and talk in my chambers.
Except for, like, as a dad. Like, to try to, like, you know, try to appeal and say, you know, oh, I love you, son. Oh, like, I mean, and say that.
I never
or, you
kill
know.
my son.
Well,
You're my son.
One of the lines was like, "Oh, you didn't, you really thought that we were gonna kill you."
I kind of believed that part because he does that earlier in the episode before the trial, or at the trial, where he says to Jamie, he goes, basically like, what, you think I'm going to kill Tyrion? No, I'm sending off to the wall, and you're going to go to Castle Rock, and we're all going to be cool dudes. Okay?
He's a Lannister. I'm not going to kill a Lannister. So, I mean, there was a kernel of truth there, which I think, which is what made it such an insidious thing to try to say.
What you did there.
Because guess what? Tyrion can still go on and have normal friggin' kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have the Lannister name.
And he warned him.
She was a whore. Say that word again.
Say it again. Say it again.
Say it one more goddamn
and
time.
he said it. He said it, and right then and there, he pulled the trigger. It was beautiful. Oh.
Another irony of this entire situation was, remember, Tyrion's first position as a noble was he was master of privies.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that. That's really awesome.
That's a shitty title.
And then of course luckily he still managed to escape with Varys' help. But Varys of course was horrified.
He knew something was wrong.
That really great shot where he was seeing the crate, Tyrion's crate go up and turns to walk toward King's Landing again, and or the Red Keep anyway, and hear the alarm bell and nope. Nope.
I didn't even notice that until Trevor told me, so now I'm gonna have to go back and like look at it.
Well, I mean,
it was
just
really,
some heavy shit, man. I mean, I can't blame you for missing that.
No, it was really subtle though, where he was just kind of like,
yeah, no.
Wait, I have something else.
More silver won't make a difference.
It's not silver. It's iron.
Of course, the end of the episode here, we finally get to see Arya use the iron coin.
Yes.
I could see where they were going. I know that a lot of sailors are Bravosi, and as soon as she started talking to him, and he had that little flavor to his dialect, I was like, "Yep, this is a Bravosi. She's gonna take her to Bravos."
His well-coiffed curly hair and his identical facial hair to every other Bravosi.
Yeah, it's kind of given away.
I liked it too, though, like the last trade run, because they're going back, and like, it's like whatever how trades, they're
they're gathering the salt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is it, we're going back.
Yep.
And it was really cool seeing the Bravosi respond to being handed the coin, and they had their little exchange of words like.
How did you?
Valar Morghulis.
And hearing the music swell and having her sitting on deck, like looking out to sea and everything, I was really shocked.
Masthead dough.
Oh man, I was really shocked to have the season end with such kind of an inspiring, kind of upswing.
Right.
Like things are actually kind of looking on the up and up. We've had some devastating season finales before. We've been left with some pretty dark tides toward the end of these seasons, but I think they've set up everything really nicely for the next season.
You know what I like is that he's really expanding onto this other continent that has kind of just been mildly not all there like Westeros, like Westeros is. Essos is not touched on like nearly as much, and now there's so many main characters going there that we're getting to see all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. We're going to spend a lot more time
The world
on the
is
Eastern
getting
Continent.
bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that does it for our review and discussion here of the season finale. And of course, with the season finale, that means the end of the Short Council. But we will For now, we will be back eventually when there is another show.
Trevor's told me in confidence, but I think this is an excellent place to announce it. He's doing the next season of Two Broke Girls. So,
If we can get it off the ground, if we can do it. But rest assured, when there is a show that deserves the attention, it will have the attention of the Short Council. Have a good night.
Peanut butter disaster.